Stressful. Oh, okay. I might need two runs through of this. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Wellbeing. Okay, hold on. It's just sounding very okay. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
You got it.
Okay. Hello, welcome to Well Behaved, where we unpack sobriety, womanhood, current events, pop culture, and the messiness of life. I'm Carter.
And I'm Bree.
Welcome to the pod. Woo!
So there was a little mix up this week. So our friend Riley was supposed to come on, but I am not good with dates, evidently. And I thought I just got my dates mixed up. So Riley's going to come on next week, but that's okay because we are going to talk about some fun stuff today. First off, do we want to? Oh, well, I want to start actually. I want to start by thanking everyone who's been listening because we hit 300 listeners.
300?
300 listeners.
300 listeners. We love to hear it.
And none of them are my mom because she keeps forgetting to listen. So,
Right. So 300, it's mostly friends and family, but that's okay.
right. Exactly. So let's talk about what we did this week, what we did last weekend, what we're doing this weekend. Do you want to kick us off?
Okay, last weekend I had a chill weekend, which I desperately needed. I have to sandwich in a free weekend in between a trip. I don't do
Correct.
double back. I don't do trips back to back. So I had Miami. I had a weekend here, the cherry blossoms. That's really all I did. And then this weekend I'm going to Florida for a pre-bash from, it's like, I guess it's a joint bachelorette party, but it's just kind of like a pre-wedding trip. So
Fun.
that's this weekend. I'm
Where
leaving in
in
the morning.
Florida?
Like 30A area.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I think it'll be a little bit more relaxed than Miami, which,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And you went to the Mets game with your boyfriend.
I did go to the Mets game, go sports. It was actually a cold baseball game,
Mm-hmm.
but anything for a hot dog. I did have a hot dog. I'm not gonna lie, no shade to the Mets. The hot dog was mid. That's all.
Yeah. My uncle
Mm.
actually used to throw the hot dogs at the Mets games in like the 80s and 90s. That was his job.
My God, I'm obsessed with that. Okay, I was
Yeah.
obsessed with the energy. The energy of the Met Stadium, despite them apparently lost a historic number of games. God bless. Crowd was happy to be there.
I was born in Queens and my whole family is from Queens. So everyone's Mets fans for the most part. And, Mets fans, they're loyal because the Mets stink. I married a
No,
Yankees fan. To be
and
honest, I
that
don't care either way, but
no, and that was the energy and I loved it. I have to say though, it was hard to focus because I literally just felt like West and Amanda sitting at the game.
I was going to
Like
say
that was
you had
all that
big
was on
shoes
my
to
mind.
fill.
Exactly. That was literally all that was on my mind. I was like, this is Wes and Amanda, and we're just at the baseball game in the city. This is what they did together.
Totally.
Like, this is a crazy move for two people who don't want to be seen, which
I
clearly
think they do.
they do want to be seen.
Yeah. We'll dive into that.
I was about to say, oh
Obviously,
my God, don't get us fucking started on,
week 3 of talking about Amanda and West, but
I
I mean,
mean,
they
the
just keep
amount
giving
of
us things to talk
airtime.
about. It's exhausting. As for me, I do have an update from today. So anyone who is friends with me or has been following me on social media knows that I have a very tumultuous relationship with Solid Core. I was a member for like a year and I absolutely hated it, but I was in the best shape of my life. I looked amazing, but I genuinely dreaded going. Every single time I went, I wore earplugs because I hated how much they talked. Like it just was not an enjoyable experience. So I ended my membership and I made a big stink about it on social media. And then this week I was like, I'm kind of getting out of shape and it's across from my apartment. And
Mm.
I was like, I think I'm signing up for Solid Core again. And so I did. And that makes me a hypocrite, and I'm sorry. I did like it a little better this time. It's just like 5 minutes too long. Have you ever done it?
I have done it once. It was too much for me. I also am not like a Pilates micro movements girl. But it's
Okay.
actually hilarious that you are the hypocrisy of your solid core journey. Because you know where my ass went to this week
No, you
after
went to Core Power?
I did tail between my legs. I went back
You
like a
took
moth
them
to a
down on
flame.
TikTok and then you went back.
I'm like, I literally want to do what the meme with like Amanda with the scarf over her face of me showing back up just at Core Power after dragging their asses for not paying a living wage.
No, weren't you literally in like the New York Post for that?
No, okay, no. Well, it was something. I can't remember what
You
article it
were
was,
in a news article about it.
and then someone linked on Reddit to my law firm's website. I had to shut it down. But it's my favorite workout. It's my favorite workout. And,
Yeah.
they gave everyone dollar raises and they're cleaning the studios 4 times a year. So apparently that's good enough for me.
They listen, they raised the wages, which is what you were upset about, and now we give them a second chance
Right. Yeah. I
because
mean,
cancel culture is toxic. We need to give people the chance to learn and to grow.
it's true. And, have they redeemed themselves? Not really, but I'm sorry. It's the best workout. So,
You know, I've never done it.
my God, it is my favorite. It is a combination of yoga, weights, and a heated room. So you
Yeah.
get like the stretch, you get the weights. There's 45-minute classes, which are my favorite. So, guys, welcome to
Yeah,
the
people
pod.
love it.
We're hypocrites,
Welcome to the
and
pod.
that's
We're
okay.
hypocrites. But it's April and we have to get our bodies right, okay? So,
100%.
um, that's what I did. I'm going to New Orleans tomorrow for the first time. I've never been. I'm so excited. Going to Jazz Fest with my in-laws. So I'm very excited
Fun.
about that. Music festival, like it's kind of like, like Coachella but different. Um, not similar at all, but like I'm really looking forward to it.
I would love
And
to go to New Orleans, not blackout drunk for a college formal.
right,
Hmm.
I've never been. So like I
I've
never had
heard
that
it's
experience.
beautiful.
Yeah, you've heard.
I've heard it's beautiful. Personally, my body was there, but my mind and spirit were not.
Yeah, that's what my husband keeps saying because he went when he was in college for Mardi Gras, and he's
Mhm.
like, "This is basically gonna be my first time there, like, conscious."
Yeah, exactly.
Um, that's what I'm doing. Last weekend was chill for me as well. I did cycle bar for the first time, and I loved it. If we're on the workout class train, like, it was really great. I did it in Flatiron with Zach, and he's also a sober king. Or actually, we figured out our soberversaries are, like, a week apart. So, I think I'm gonna do a 2-year soberversary spin class there in June, which I'm really excited about.
I love that. I love a cycle class.
Yeah, I haven't I used to be a Soul Cycle baddie, like, my senior year of high school. Basically, what we would do on Long Island is I went to an all-girls high school. We would leave well, this was, like, me and my thought friends. We would leave school, hit the tanning booths, go to Soul Cycle, and then go home. Like, that was our routine after school, and it was when Soul Cycle first came out, so it was only, like, $25. Um, but I
That's
haven't done a spin
beautiful.
class in years, so it was really nice.
That's beautiful. The hit the tanning bed, hit the soul cycle. That's iconic.
Yeah, and all on my dad's card, which was
Of
awesome.
course, of course.
And I'm not afforded that luxury anymore, and that's okay. Should we get into some pop culture?
I'd love to.
What would you like to start with? Why don't we save Wes and Amanda for last because they just put us in a bad mood.
Yeah, and I think we need like a time limit on that because we could just go on and on. So we'll do it at the end to cut ourselves off.
Perfect. I'm literally setting a 2-minute timer because we can't go more than
No,
that.
like actually the
Um,
airtime is crazy.
they don't deserve
But
it.
I will say it just keeps going. So it's not on
Yeah,
us.
no, it's not. We could start with talking about how apparently Jacob Elordi and Kendall Jenner are dating.
I feel like I'm here for this.
I'm 1,000% here for this.
Okay, yeah, I'm 1,000% here for this.
I love when you agree
I
with me.
I love to see it. Yeah, no, this is a good one that we're on the same page with because then we'll get to Alex Cooper and Alex Earl.
We're not on the same page.
No, we're not. I
No.
was flip-flopping. Okay, but Jacob Elordi, Kendall, love. Although I feel like she was kind of going back and forth with Bad Bunny for a while.
Yeah. And Booker. Is his name Devin Booker?
Okay, yeah, I was kind of getting confused because I feel like Devin Booker was old news, but then I feel like they were pictured together like not that long ago.
She's got a good arsenal of people
She
she's
does.
dated. And she hasn't dated that many people, but like the ones that she's dated
Mm-mm.
are super hot. I feel like her
They're
and Zoe
yeah.
Kravitz, they date the hottest people.
My gosh. So speaking of though, are Zoe Kravitz and Harry Styles endgame?
Did you see that picture that people think she's engaged?
Yes.
I
Yep.
don't think she is. She's been like married already. I just feel like it would be kind of quick, but who knows? I mean, I would marry Harry Styles.
100%. And I could see them like I feel like she is cool girl enough for him.
She's
You know,
so cool.
she's unbelievably cool.
Like
So if
literally
it's
the
gonna
coolest.
like the coolest, so if it's gonna be anyone, I wouldn't be surprised if it was her.
Let it be her.
Let it be her. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jacob Elordi Kendall. We can talk about Alex Earl and Alex Cooper. I'll let you start where you stand. I'll see where you stand. We know how I
Okay,
feel. I'm not team Alex Cooper, but go ahead.
right. And you have a stronger opinion about it than I do. And I don't really wouldn't say I have a strong opinion, but I did see someone make a good point about how Alex Cooper is more ripped apart as a feminist icon or whatever she is because she puts forth her opinions out there. Whereas then Alex Earl, who doesn't ever stand up and say anything or act like a feminist icon at all and blah, 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 gets more of a pass because she doesn't even have any positions to rip apart. Even though obviously
Correct.
the MAGA stuff is kind of coming out for her.
Yeah. I think that's I think that's true. Fact, of course. Any woman's gonna get ripped apart for sharing their opinion and, like, gonna be seen as being, I don't know, overbearing or loud or over opinionated. But I think this specific drama has more to do with the way Alex Cooper treats people
Yeah, no,
and
for
the
sure, and
workplace.
yeah, and I am seeing more stuff about, what's her husband's name?
Matt
Um,
Kaplan.
Matt Kaplan. Okay, I'm starting to watch some videos about the workplace, and it's not
Yes.
I'm not
He's
not
apparently
liking what I'm
really
hearing.
Yeah, he's apparently very volatile, yelling at people a lot. People feel very on edge around him.
Yes, very
Um,
weird behavior in the workplace, which is never good.
I
And
have a hot take. Um,
mm,
I think, okay, for starters, I'm an empath, so part of me feels a little bit bad for Alex Cooper because, I don't like to see anyone get dragged like this. Like, it sucks. That sucks, whatever. Hopefully like her mental health isn't too in the shits and she's okay. But I think it's just kind of funny that she tried to post this video roasting Alex Earl and being like, say it." And then everyone that's really ever worked with her is like, she doesn't need to say it. I'll say it. And then everyone came forward and is saying it. Like, I know Vanity Fair is interviewing people. There's just like a lot's coming out. And I think I was talking to my friend about this. I feel like she's a little bit unaware of the way she treats people and the choices she makes and the choices her husband makes, like, impact people. I don't think she's, like, knows it and isn't, like, pretending she doesn't. I think she genuinely doesn't know. Like, she doesn't realize.
no, I could definitely see that because if you are gonna make the type of video that she made, you need to make sure that your side of the street is so
Yeah.
unbelievably clean, and she definitely has no awareness that she is being perceived, well, by the people who work closely with her too, which is seems a little crazy. I definitely do feel like Matt Kaplan though. I mean, I think however Alex Cooper is probably how she's been also, but there is definitely something weird going on with the dynamic in particular of how her operation is being run that I think has to do with him. But I also do just think she's like a shrewd, calculated, like, I mean, even the call her daddy of it all, like
Yeah.
with Sophia.
I think she's just bloodthirsty, like,
Yeah.
she wants to get her
Because,
bag and she doesn't care who she hurts in the process. We were talking about this last week
mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah.
Um, but it's all coming out. It always comes out.
What are you thinking for Alex Earl's response? Like, everyone's like, I'm like not really on the edge of my seat for it. I mean, and it still hasn't come either. So I don't know like what we're
Well,
waiting on.
I think if I'm being completely honest, I can't tell if it's good PR or bad PR. Like, she waited long enough for people to air out their dirty laundry about Alex Cooper, and they've done it. And now maybe she doesn't even need to make a response because everyone else has done it for her.
That's so
But
true.
this is the thing. If someone is not a Trump supporter, they are vehemently going to come out and say it. Is that how you say that word? Vehemently? Vehemently? She's going to be like, I am
Vehemently.
absolutely not a Trump supporter. And she hasn't said that.
Okay, I always say this about the Oshry sisters too.
Wait, pause for a second. Ziggy. Ziggy.
The
Jesus
dogs have no respect for the fucking pod.
Like, literally no respect. And he doesn't even work. He still hasn't gotten a job. Ziggy,
Mm-mm.
stop. Okay, what were you saying?
Okay, I always say this about the Oshry sisters, who Jackie and Margot, 100,000,000% they're Trump supporters, blah, blah, blah. But I say this mainly about Claudia because everyone is always like, Claudia is more progressive. She's more, and I'm like, she has had years and years and years to clear up that she is not a Trump supporter, and she never has. And I think we do the same thing with Alex Earl that we do with Claudia, where they seem like a nice person and so you're just like, oh, they could never be a Trump supporter, but they have been called a Trump supporter over and over and over and over again for years, and they've never once cleared it up.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I think they
What do
just
you think?
are. And I don't think
Yeah,
it's mutually exclusive. Like, I don't think that just because you're for some reason a Trump supporter, you're not a nice person per se. Like, I think everyone genuinely feels like I do believe this about humanity. Everyone believes that they are doing and believing the right thing for everyone. Like, they think they're doing good. I don't think people are out here intentionally, for the most part, doing bad and making bad choices and harming people.
I think that for the most part, people are doing what they think is best, and a lot of misguided stuff is coming from a good place.
Absolutely. And so I think that's where it comes from. I also think if it's true about Alex Earl's family all being Trump supporters and her dad being her manager, and maybe she feels uncomfortable going against her family and speaking out against it. And I just like the politics of it all. I'm like, I'm not totally sure the politics of it all is completely relevant. But
Uh-huh.
that guy made that video talking about how the Trump thing with Unwell, and how basically he was saying that, Alex Cooper had Kamala Harris on, and Alex Earl's dad was pissed that she also didn't have Trump on, and it caused this whole thing. And Alex Earl's sister, Ashton Earl, commented on the video and was like, your source is wrong. This isn't true. And
Uh,
all the comments were like, it's a good thing you and your sister have a platform to speak out about this, but like you both haven't
yeah.
said anything. So they're kind of
Yeah.
letting the rumors swirl for too long. Like,
Right. And if it was a rumor that you cared about, perfect example is Ashton commenting on that video, something that bothered her, that it was something that was untrue. It bothered her enough, and so she spoke about it. I did think that that story about, oh, they weren't going to have Trump on, I thought that was far-fetched. I mean, that for the dad, for her manager, her slash dad to come in and be like, "Oh, we're shutting the whole thing down if she's not gonna have Trump on." I'm like, that did not happen.
I don't believe that.
That did not happen. I'm
This is a
sorry. I mean,
successful this is a very successful businessman. I don't believe that he's that irrational that he would do that. I don't care how much he
yeah,
likes Trump.
no, exactly. I was like, and I certainly, even if Alex Earl is a soft Trump supporter, I don't think she gives a fuck about like, you know what I mean? The whole thing
Again,
just seemed like no,
her and Sydney Sweeney, I think, is the same thing. I don't really think she gives a shit.
100,000%.
Um, yeah. So I will say the one thing I think people are bringing in politics, and they're taking Alex Cooper's side because Alex Cooper's liberal, and they're not taking Alex Earl's side because Alex Earl's a Trump supporter. I don't think that, like, just because someone's liberal also doesn't just make them a good person automatically.
100% looking at you, Harvey Weinstein.
Like, it's nuanced. We can't just look
Yeah.
at someone and be like, oh, she's liberal, she's a better person than the Trump supporter. That's definitely not a fact.
And it's kind of like what we were just saying, which is like, you can say, we love that Alex Cooper speaks out. We love that Alex Cooper, in some ways, is a voice for feminism, blah, 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 blah. And we can also say that in the way that she moves and operates with people, there's some things that are not looking so good.
Right. Because two
Two,
things can
two
be true
things
at
can be
once.
true. Hmm.
And I feel like people constantly forget the two things can be true at once.
Yep. So I feel
Yeah,
like that's kind of where I've landed with the Alex situation. Like, I do hear the points that Alex Cooper gets judged more harshly as an imperfect feminist than Alex gets judged for not being one at all. But I also think there's some pretty damning stuff coming out about Alex Cooper.
for sure. It's not looking great for her. I guess, like, we can talk about Summer House.
I mean, the fact it's so like stupid, but the fact that they're filming the reunion right now has me just like so amped up and like I need to fucking relax. Like,
My cousin texted us and was like, did you see the seating chart for the
oh, I
reunion? And
saw
I
it.
was like, no. Wait, so what is it? What's the seating chart?
Okay, I have to say, I usually like kind of don't give a fuck about seating charts. Like, why does it matter where anyone sits? But I did look at this one, and they have Wes and Amanda sitting next to each other. Um, obvi obviously, and then Jesse is next to them, and then across is Sierra, Lindsay, and Kyle. That's all I can remember.
Okay. I mean, that checks out.
Yeah. It's just like the thought, like it feels like a fever dream that we're about to watch a reunion where West and Amanda are together. Like, if you had told us
I
that.
and this week's episode, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched yet, but this week's episode was totally the nail in the coffin. Like, it just makes the whole situation look literally so much worse.
Okay, I haven't caught up on it actually because I was at the Mets game, cosplaying as Wes and Amanda at the Yankees game, but I've obviously seen clips. West is diabolical. One thing I will say though, and again, I haven't watched the whole thing, but do really feel for Sierra, who's kind of like not begging for the friendship with him again. And like we've all been there where it's like the situationship or whatever it is, and it's like, I just miss our friendship. Like, you gotta let the friendship sail. Like, you gotta just let the person out of your life. They are in a different situation because of the show, obviously, so they have to have like a, and maybe that's kind of what she's like, I don't know though, but I just kind of feel like when someone has like treated you wrong or even just said that they're not interested in you, like, do not cling on to those tidbits from them. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think I don't even know if she wants friendship. I think she's still in love with him. I think this is an absolute classic case of a beautiful
Yep.
girl dating down, and the guy that she dates down screws her over and disrespects her. And then she's in this weird turmoil of like, I'm so much better and cooler and hotter and smarter than this person, and they screwed me over, and they kind of take your semblance of self-worth with them. And I think he's still
Totally. I
holding on
mean,
to it.
if it hasn't happened to the best of us.
So, like, and I think she wants
Yeah.
that back. Like, she's still in the phase
Mhm.
where she's like, if he could just want me, then I could get that self respect back that he took from me, because she already lost self respect when she was probably hooking up with him and dating down.
He's also, and that scene to me especially, is just so head over heels in love with him. And that, the way that, like, the whole thing with him, like, that is the reason that the situation with Amanda is so bad. Because again, this is not, it's about the depth of Sierra's feelings about the situation. Amanda and everyone with two eyeballs and two ears is so clearly aware of. And
It's
that is like
cruel.
the depth of the betrayal,
It's
exactly.
cruel. And like, I'm not really spoiling anything with this, but this week's episode, like, Wes and Sierra have a conversation, and you can just see it on Sierra's face. Like, I was watching it with
Yes.
my husband, and it like he was like, she is so in love with him. Like, you can
Yes,
just
exact
feel it through
it's
the screen.
it's palpable.
Yes,
It is,
it really
and
is.
that broke my heart because, like, it's just so, and, like, again, that's just what makes the whole situation so egregious. Oh, and I love West going on that stupid podcast with that MAGA chick that he does the podcast with or whatever, and so this is what he does. He's so focused on the timelines, and, like, the timelines aren't the issue, although the timelines are the issue, but it's a separate issue. But it's kind of giving him thing to talk about that he didn't do wrong, and it's
Mhm.
like, that's not even the heart of the issue, brother.
Not at
But he's
all.
he
And he
he can't
looks
talk about the heart of the issue because there's no decent way to make him
no.
look not like shit.
He also just always looks so sheepish. Like, I
Oh
need
my
him
god,
to
I'm so
stop
glad you brought
looking
that
like
up.
he looks like a battered puppy, and it's like, no
The
one did
sad
anything to
boy
you.
act. It is, and I've always, not even just lately, but like every reunion, every time he's confronted with anything even marginally uncomfortable, the sad boy act, and he even, like, puts on the little voice, he has his
It's
shoulders
so
hunched
manipulative.
over. It's so fucking manipulative, like, oh, that just pissed me off.
Yeah, well, karma's coming to him today. So,
If he's not able to use his words at the
he's
reunion,
not gonna be able to. Amanda's gonna have to
no,
do all
he's
the
not.
talking and defend him, and she should. Listen, she should have to be talking more because she is the one that's 10 times more in the wrong here. Like,
Mhm.
he's always been
Yeah,
this guy.
yeah.
You don't screw over your best friend. That's girl code, and it's like, just womanhood in general. Like, I don't she's not part of the woman community anymore. I want her out of it.
The thing that I'm most excited about, though, is getting a pulse check on the status of where they stand. Because, I mean, if they are like a united front and they're like, we are in love, we're giving this a go, like that's going to be hard to like, what do you say to that? But I feel like that clip of her at the Yankees game saying, act like you like me, told me everything about their dynamic that I need to know.
Yeah.
Right?
It was very
Right?
great, and I live for the lip readers on TikTok and Instagram. Like, they are truly doing the Lord's work. Um, but the fact that she said, "Act like you like me," and, like, she's saying it in such a snotty way, and, like, and then he goes to kiss her, and then she says, "Well, at this point, just fuck it." Like, because everyone's, "Well, what did you think? Everyone wasn't gonna see you at the Yankees game?" Like, I'm not understanding. We've obviously gone over 2 minutes talking about this, and I forgot to set an alarm, but, like,
Oh my God.
but, like,
That's what pissed me off though, is she's so pleased with herself. First of all, it says to me that she wants people to see that they are in love or whatever. I mean, obviously they're at the game, but act like you like me. That also tells me that they are a little bit even a little bit unsteady. Like, you don't have to say, act like you like me to the guy that's head over heels for you.
No. And did you see, I don't know who it was on TikTok. I need to get better about this because I feel like I have to give people credit, but like some guy made a
Yeah.
TikTok saying that like the reason Amanda's out and about with him all the time isn't because she wants to be out and about with him. It's because she's making sure he's behaving and doesn't embarrass her.
That is so embarrassing.
Probably definitely true.
100%.
Because if he turns around and flirts with another girl and hooks up with another girl after all this,
There's not a world to me where they're going to be on solid ground. And anything other than like a 1,000,000% we are in love, we're giving this a go, to me is like, oh, it's already done in my mind. I mean,
I
it's already
agree.
done in my mind either way. Like, they're not, you think these two are endgame?
So
Please.
what's the reunions on in 2 weeks then? Yeah, because it's
I don't know, but I definitely want to do a watch party.
100%, and I'm not even kidding you, my husband will be there. He is so
No,
invested. He said, he's like, "This is gonna be the most watched Bravo reunion of all time." I'm like, "Dude, why are you so invested in
dude,
this?"
chill. But it's actually though, I'm like so amped up because a watch party would be so fucking
So
fun.
fun.
We'll do
And we
something.
need, like, the usual suspects there, like, we have a c crew of girls that will bring some great commentary.
Exactly.
So, that's all we have to talk about with Summer House. Today we were going to dive into how growing up in the North versus the South or in the city versus a rural area, wherever you grew up, East Coast, West Coast, how that played into your drinking habits and the way you drink. And we actually got some really interesting feedback from people, which we'll get into in a little bit. But the reason we kind of want to talk about this is because I'm from the East Coast up north and Carter is from the East Coast but down south. So I guess I'm more curious, Carter, like, how do you feel like what was the drinking culture in Georgia growing up?
I mean, I feel like my drank heavily in high school and so did my friend group. I don't know how much though I'm curious. I don't know how much it would be different from like where you grew up though. I mean, we didn't drink in middle school. Maybe we started drinking in ninth grade. My group of friends, it's not all we did, but it definitely is a lot of what we did, like all through high school, trying to have parties when people's parents were out of town. We would go camping out in fields and like be drinking vodka and doing the whole thing. So I don't know. I feel like it was definitely like it was the focal point of my high school experience for sure. And that was like, I don't know if that was just my friend group or my area. I wouldn't call where I grew up the sticks, but it was definitely sticks adjacent, and drinking was huge.
Yeah, yeah. I can agree with that a little bit. I don't know. The one area I disagree is I don't think my high school social life revolved around drinking until maybe junior or senior year. Like I feel like freshman year we were drinking, but we were able not even I wasn't really drinking that much freshman year, but like sophomore year we were drinking very, periodically. Cuz no one's parents were not home. Like we just didn't have the resources. As you were sharing that, I was thinking about like remember on a Friday night when you would be like waiting to find out if someone's parents would be out of town and then you would get the text at like 7 p.m. and you'd like quickly get dressed and like run over with like the what a high.
Who's got the
Who's
open?
got the open? Literally, who's got the open house? And then you'd book it there and you'd invite everyone. It
Oh
would
my
be
God,
so
like
sick.
the thrill. But I do feel like my drinking in high school, I mean, I was definitely blacking out at that point, but I think that everyone was, which is kind of like, I feel like my whole trajectory, like I was definitely like in line with other people until I wasn't. And like that was kind of where I started to realize, oh, like in high school, we're all blacking out because it's our first time drinking. And then it's like I get to college and it's like, okay, I'm one of the smaller percentage that's still blacking out. I really did not have any like bad feelings about it until college though. So I think in high school, like I was just having a ball.
Yeah, it's interesting. We got some pretty interesting feedback. I would say the one thing I noticed, and I'll read them out, but across the board, everyone, no matter where they were from, they were like, well, I'm from so and so. So, of course, drinking was like so popular and heavy. And they're naming these like states from all over the country. So, I'm like, I think this
That's
is just the norm.
That's actually hilarious because I can
Yeah.
totally see that. It's like, oh, I'm from Buffalo. Of course I drank so much. It's like, oh, that's actually just everywhere.
Literally, some girl was like, I'm from Wisconsin. So, absolutely. And I was like, duh.
Duh.
So true. But like, it's the norm and is accepted to be a heavy drinker. So, we have a few, right? my friend Mary from New Orleans, she was saying everyone parties and drinks so much in New Orleans. So she started drinking so young. It's just normalized, whatever. The one interesting thing people brought up a few times was that not so much growing up, but when you are living in New York City in your 20s, because no one has to drive, it is so much easier to drink and black out. And that's so much of the party culture in New York is that you can hop in an Uber or get on the subway and you never have to drive. So you can get as drunk as you want.
Actually, fun fact about that is the town over from me is actually a golf cart community. And so people start drinking really young in that community because we were all riding around on golf carts, able to go places without parents in like middle school. And that level of access and also not having to deal with a car, they did, I think, eventually pass like golf cart laws about obviously you can't drink and drive a golf cart either, but this was the wild, wild west at this time. So I do think that's funny. And I definitely felt that when I moved to New York too. Like you don't have to worry about drinking which actually was like such a relief. I think particularly for like if you were gonna have like a couple glasses of wine or something, and you really should not be driving after that, but people do. And so I loved not having to think about that and deal with that in New York. Obviously, there are other dangers of getting home in New York if you're fucking wasted, but
Yeah. Like falling asleep on the subway and waking up at like 2 a.m.
I've never fallen asleep though and woke. I would have a fucking panic attack if that happened. I can
Our
totally
friend
see
did
how it
that.
would though.
Our friend did that. And when we have her on the pod, she'll probably talk about it. Um, yeah. So that was a lot of the New York City stuff. Someone said, I'm from city. Drinking culture is huge here, which makes being sober tough. I was interesting. One girl said she's from Denver, Colorado, and there's a huge focus on the outdoors, which is really helpful. So, like, kids are hiking or they're camping or whatever, and so they're not totally obsessed with drinking all the time.
My brother lives in LA now and he's lived there for like 5 or 6 years. And his group of friends, like it's definitely not drinking focused. Like they're doing other stuff. And I don't know if that's a California thing because they're like going to the beach and it's like gorgeous. They're very health focused. But even just his experience in California versus mine in New York, because I feel like when I talk about like, this revolved around drinking and this is just going out and going to bars and blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, that's not like what, I mean, granted, they're smoking a lot of weed, but they're not
Yeah.
drinking as much for sure.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because I've lived on both coasts, right? I lived in San Diego for years.
That's right.
And I think you can choose your pathway. It's like the game of life. And like you could choose the pathway of partying and drinking a lot, or being super outdoorsy and wholesome and whatever. I think it could go either way. And I feel like in San Diego, it totally does. Like there's people that are super into yoga and hiking and being on the beach. And my friends, like we did all of that, but we also
Right.
were partying and drinking every single weekend. Um, and I think so.
Right.
One girl wrote in, she said, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest and we only drank when it was nice out. And if you've ever been to the Pacific Northwest, it rains all the time. And like the only time I also have lived
That's
there, and the
funny.
only time it's really consistently sunny and nice is like 4th of July to September in my experience.
Yeah.
But
And I
then
think
she
it's
said
kind
she
of
moved
like,
to LA and it's different.
I think it's also kind of like wherever you go, there you are. Like,
Yeah.
even it's like at the times that I was drinking so much, like if we were hiking, we were probably drinking, or we were drinking before, like, like, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we were, like, I've been hiking and doing yoga and doing all the things, like, all throughout my 20s and drinking, though.
I think I was, in San Diego, we're on the beach all day on a Saturday in December, but we're drinking.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So,
It's like, yeah, we're in California and we're doing all the California things. We're also drinking.
correct. Correct. Um, my friend who I went to college with, she said going out culture in New York City absolutely made me feel like closing the bar was a need. And I agree with that. If the lights were on at the bar, I was there. Like I loved to be like we were there till the lights came on. Um I thought that was like
Yeah,
the biggest
I
plus.
mean,
I don't know why.
I definitely like SEC culture and just like I was talking to one of my guy friends not too long ago who's in the process of trying to quit drinking, and we were just laughing because I'm just like, "Oh, you mean those drinking habits that we built up in college, drinking every single day from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed and did it again every single weekend, make for healthy drinking habits in our 20s and 30s?" I'm shocked.
No. And I think I just had a question come into my head too. Like, I feel like in New York, we start drinking young, right? So let's say I started drinking at 14. By the time I'm 28, 29, I've had, what is that? 10, 12, 13 years of drinking. Like, I've hit my limit, right? And I'm sober. I know a lot of other people that are sober. A lot of my husband's friends are sober. Now that I'm sober in New York City, I mean, it literally opens up this entire new city for you with all these new people and opportunities. But I'm
Mhm.
curious if it's common or if you know of a lot of people in the South who get sober.
Ooh, I do feel like that's a good question. I definitely think, like, I do think in the South there's a little bit less of an emphasis on, like, I don't wanna say, like, I'm trying to think of how I wanna say
Like
this.
wellness?
Yeah, like wellness and like maybe digging deep and getting in touch with like how you're feeling about your life and yourself and making improvements. Like, it's tough to even get people to go to therapy, like, nonetheless. And I think that plays into like, the drinking culture is so huge, especially with like all these the sports and college and all this, and it's not like, oh, drinking is bad. It's like, oh, why can't you drink well and normally like everybody else? And there's not really a question about like, and then maybe it's changing now. I mean, now it's been 10 years since I've been in college. You know what I mean? So I don't know if like some of that is changing with the times that like, this people want to focus on being healthier and not drinking 24/7 and whatever, but I do think that there's a different again, like, comparing it to the California thing with my brother, like, my brother knows so many people who have gotten sober and, like, in the South, people are definitely getting sober, but I think the lack of focus on, like, wellness and I don't wanna say personal development, but maybe in that way anyway.
Yeah. Maybe like getting deep with yourself and in touch with your emotions isn't as much of a thing. I think part of the New York thing too is that people are hustling and trying to succeed so much. And I think when you get into your late 20s and your hangovers start interfering with your success, people are very quick to be like, I want to make money, I want to be successful. I'm not letting this thing get in the way of it.
Yeah, I feel like, though, in New York definitely has a toxic relationship with like hustle culture and drinking culture, like that's very like wound up with one another and kind of this like I can work a 10-hour day, I can go get martini, like this kind of like I can do it all thing and not being able to say like, actually like this thing is kind of like falling apart and the wheels are falling off and nobody really wants to admit that here because everyone, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think New York City is a great place to be an alcoholic, and it's also a great place to be a sober person. I think that there's a lot of functioning alcoholics in New York
Yes,
City who are
100%.
able, functioning alcoholics can drink like that. Many do for their entire lives because they're able to keep a job and they're able to wake up the next day and they don't get hungover, some of them, and like they're not doing anything that
Yes.
bad, but like their life revolves around alcohol. In my opinion, I do feel like being a functioning alcoholic is almost the worst kind because you're never totally faced with a decision of like changing your life and fixing something. Like I'd rather hit a rock bottom and be like, this isn't working, I have to fix it.
Kyle Cook, perfect example of this.
Yeah.
Ultra, like, motivated hustle culture is gonna get up and do the work no matter what, is gonna get up and go to the gym no matter what, but is
Him like
not
getting up
going
and
to
going for a run. He's
yes,
always going
and,
for a
like,
run.
his refusal to face, and that I think that does keep people going for so long as evidence that everything is totally normal. I'm getting up and I'm going on a run. I'm getting up and I'm running a company. I also one more thing I wanted to say about the New York of it all is that I feel like when I first started thinking about not drinking anymore, people were very like, how are you going to do that in New York? And I do get where that question's coming from because of all the reasons that we just stated. But I also have found, and I feel like you would agree, that I feel like this is one of the best places to be
The
sober, like
best.
in the world. The community, the amount of other shit there is to do every day of the week that is actually not drinking or drinking centered whatsoever,
Yeah,
like,
it's
is
I
amazing.
I think it's a really, really great place to be sober. I feel really lucky because I went to college in New York City and then I moved to the West Coast. So I never really like lived in Manhattan in my 20s. And so
Uh-huh.
when I moved back to the city area, like I'm in Hoboken, but I've never had a drink in Hoboken. Like I've never drank here. I've been sober the whole time, and I feel like I've been able to reclaim this space for myself.
I love
But
that.
I obviously partied a lot in New York in my 20s when I would visit my friends and go home to my family's house, but, like, yeah, I never would have imagined the doors that sobriety unlocks for you in New York City. I saw a TikTok. Was it our friend Carol who made a TikTok saying that, like, when you're sober in New York, like, you just open up this new world. It's like a new city, and you're experiencing all these new things that you never have, and you're meeting this, like, whole new cast of characters. You
No,
unlock,
I
like, new people.
haven't seen that, but that is exactly how it feels. Like I just cannot think of a better place to have a better community. Like if you are struggling getting sober because you don't have sober people to hang out with or don't have a sober community, move here. Because
Yeah,
like the way that there are activities and groups and just shit every day of the week, like the
yeah.
amount of people that we've met in the last two
It's
years.
not like that everywhere too, because I do talk to a lot of girls who are from Boston or I don't know, just other places, and they're just like, it's just not it's hard to find a sober community. Like, it's just not really
Yeah.
that prevalent.
And that made me think about it because I'm thinking in the South, again, I do feel like, and thank God for AA because I think that AA is, that's what it gives a lot of people is community. And because it's so big and well known that if there are sober people in your area, that's where you're going to meet them. But I think in terms of like alternative groups of like a lot of the stuff that we do and the way that we meet so many cool sober girls in Manhattan, like that type of thing, I don't know is as big in other cities.
No. And I think too, it's part of the people worked hard and played hard for a little bit too long, and habits catch up with you, routines catch up with you, and they had to stop.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. Because again, just talking to like a couple of my friends who have tried to stop drinking in the South, they're just like, people don't get it. And there's nobody cool that's sober that I can like, be in community with. But I will say, no matter where you are, your people are around and you can totally find cool people who have gotten sober. So it's not like this hopeless thing for anywhere that's not here, but that is just something positive that I wanted to say about living here and people thinking that what could you possibly do in Manhattan if you're not drinking? And I actually think it's literally the limit does not
The limit
exist.
does not exist. I've never been busier in my entire life than I am since I got sober. Like, there's not
Yeah.
enough time in the day to do all the things that I wanna do.
No, there's not. Like it's
It's
crazy.
crazy, and the last thing I'll say is that Hoboken's interesting because it's, like, 1 square mile, so it's pretty small. But, like,
Hmm.
when I was first getting sober, it just feels so isolating, and you feel so alone, and I really felt like I was the only person I knew who was having the problems I was having at my age and, like, with what I was doing, like, it just felt very isolated to me. And I started going to AA, and Hoboken has a great AA community. And after I went to a few meetings, I started to pick up on people's faces and their names and stuff. And I would walk around Hoboken and see those people all over town. And I was like, wait, these people have been walking all around here. Like, there's sober people everywhere. You just don't realize it until you're exposed to them.
Yeah, no, I definitely like I know that it does feel like you're the only person in the world like that this could ever happen to. And finding people that are going through the same thing that you can relate to literally is one of the most important things that you can do. Um, and again, it might be a little harder in some cities, but there are people in your city that are going through something similar. And
Totally.
it does sound cheesy, but it really does help to talk to people who are going through the same thing.
It
Like,
totally does.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's like cannot be understated.
No, I went to a meeting last night actually because I got together with a girl and she's newly sober and she was like, I don't really know a lot of sober people. And like the first thing I was like, well, we have to go to a meeting. Like you're gonna meet so many people. Like
Yeah.
that's how and it's not even just about meeting the people, it's about sitting in a room and listening to 20, 30 other people around you have the same exact problems as you and they are successful and they are normal and they are cute and they are well dressed and they are all the
Yep.
things and like it just shows you that it's completely normal and that you're not alone, and that changes literally everything.
Yeah, it gives you perspective.
Totally. Which you totally lack when you're struggling with drinking.
Totally.
There is no perspective.
Yeah.
I just had tunnel vision on myself all the time. That's
Yeah.
all we have to say about that. We know we teased you guys last week, but next week Riley Whalen actually is coming on, and that's totally my bad because I messed up the dates. So next week we're gonna talk about glowing up in sobriety and the glow up that no one talks about, and also the parts that just kind of suck. So, we're going to talk about the first year of sobriety, what that looked like, and how we glue up, the physical, emotional identity shifts that happen, what actually gets better, what's harder, and what Instagram doesn't show. So, that's what we're going to talk about next week, and that will be coming out on Thursday. Back to regularly scheduled programming.
Love it. Dates are
Dates
hard.
are hard. I always do that. Do you
Mhm.
want to know what it is? And I thought about it because I was obviously like kicking myself for it. I don't like that the week starts on a Sunday on the calendar.
I no, I completely agree.
That I
Completely
to me
agree.
that's a Monday.
And the fact I just recently started using a calendar, I'd been going calendarless for like way too long. So the fact that you sent the
That's kind
date
of
and I
crazy.
plugged it into a calendar,
What do you mean you've been
I
going
was like, wow,
calendarless?
I've just been going calendarless. It's all up here. It's all up
That's
here.
terrifying.
No, yeah, and it wasn't going that well. So,
No, yeah.
yeah, we're back. I'm using my phone calendar for the first time,
Yeah.
and I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
I've joined everyone like 10 years later.
Yeah, it's a game changer. I put everything in the calendar. Otherwise, I'd lose my mind and I'd forget everything.
Well, now I'm going to so many like events and shit. I'm like, okay, I have to have a
I
calendar.
know, it's actually funny not to, like, be so obnoxious, but when my social media kinda started taking off, like, quote, unquote, Peter and I had to get a wall calendar for our apartment. We always had, like, a paper one,
I'm
but
dead.
it was getting too full, so now we have the skylight, which is, like this is not an ad, but it's like a
Wish
virtual
it
wall
was.
calendar, and then it's on your phone too, so we can add stuff from the phone, and then it's on the wall.
Okay, wait, that's amazing, especially for a shared situation. It
Totally.
would have to be like that.
'Cause he gets overstimulated on the phone, he needs it on the wall, and I personally need it on the go. So,
Right, yeah, because I'm like constantly throwing shit in there.
correct. So shout out Skylight. It's been a game changer. So
Sponsor the
that's it.
pod.
Yeah. Watch the pod, Skylight. Sponsor us.
If anyone listening wants to sponsor
We
us,
actually are looking for sponsors if anyone wants to sponsor us.
300
Maybe
listeners.
400 next week.
Hey.
Hey. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We hope everyone has a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.